Hey guys, here's Louie, and this is part 2 of what's going to take place, the steps that are going to take place in repairing the inner and outer wheelhouse, and also the quarter panel, which is going to be a quarter panel skin on the passenger side. Like I said from the very beginning of this video, this car was in an accident in the past of his life, and they've made a repair there, which it wasn't a good repair, but that's how things was back in the day. It was as quick as they could get into the shop and turn it back around, give the owner a couple of years more of driving the car, and then they get rid of the car. So Louis got stuck with it, which is okay. So I always knew that was going to be another issue of mine. I fought with issues of having the wrong measurements. That's already all done. Now I have this problem here. Alright, so this bracket over here is where the convertible top gets mounted to. And if you have a power top car, your hydraulic cylinders will go right in this pocket here. This being a power top car, original from 1968. It was a power top car, 350 car with console, all right, shifter on the floor, automatic console, and a console clock, which is kind of rare. Not every Firebird came with a console clock, but this one does. And 68 is a 1 year only clock. Looks similar like 67, but they not 100% the same. All right, it's a couple of things that changed there. I will mention that on a later video when it comes to that time. So that's how I'm going to build her back, with all those kind of features back like 1968 when she was made. I noticed that because of the accident, they did not mount and put and weld back that bracket, which is in the passenger side, the correct way. By this gap here, over there is way more wide, okay? It's just way off, and I think visually you just could see it. That's how bad it is. And I don't know if you guys can see it, but in the front here, there's another bracing that gets welded first to your inner quarter. Well, that one is floating in the air. It's not even welded. So I need to take these measurements, and my points of reference are going to be these two holes, which it take a bolt here, all right? So I could see that there's a nut washer in the back. So I'm going to take this reference point, because both of them is exactly on the same side and it's facing the same way. I can see it. So I'm going to measure this one and this one. And I already did, but I'm going to do it right now on camera. So I have there 2 inches. Three and a quarter. Okay. And over here is also 2 inches, 3 and a quarter. All right. So I need to do the same thing to that side. The magic number is 2 inches, 3 and a quarter. All right. I see that one is way off. Let's see and check it out. I'm going to go and see actually how bad is it. So this is the side I'm going to be doing now. I'm going to be basically working right in here, knocking everything out on the passenger side, because the passenger side is going to be my difficult side because of all the wrong things. So here we go, the 2 holes, and I'm going to measure them. Off the inner quarter, I have 3 inches, 3 and a quarter. And up here, I have 3 7/8. All right, 3 7/8 on the top, and 3 3/4 of an inch on this mounting hole here. So she's way off. So these are my plans. Here, I don't know if you guys can see it, but here she is floating. There ain't nothing. The tape measure not supposed to go through here, through this groove. It's supposed to be a bracket that stops it. She's not even welded to the inner quarter panel. My plans is going to be, I need to first remove this mounting brace here off this brace, all right, this bracket or a brace, so I could be able to maneuver this over and weld the brace to the quarter panel first. And the reason I say that is because she needs to get plug weld. This brace right here needs to get plug weld to the inner quarter. And once she's plug weld and I break her loose from the inner wheelhouse, she should have less strength and allow me to push her right over to give me those same measurements over there. So we are going to see if that works out. I want to fix this. I'm going to take this away, the inner wheelhouse, excuse me, repair this, and then from this repair I need to do what I could see so far. I need to do about 2 more before I could even think about welding the quarter panel, and that's only on this side. I also need to fix some bracing that in the past they cut off the car, so I need to fabricate those. All right, guys, so I removed your convertible top bracket here. I removed it with an air hammer. All right, and it's a simple air hammer with a chisel. Here goes the convertible top bracket. All right, and I will have a chance to clean this out real nice before installing it for final installation. I'll be cleaning this really nice. All right, and this is the convertible bracket that is also welded, needs to be welded here, and that's the original to this quarter panel but not to the car. All right, and that's the way it was given to me. So I need to remove this bracket next. So when I remove this bracket and weld this bracket, then weld this back on to the wheelhouse and inner quarter, everything will measure correct. I cannot do that until I remove the inner outer wheelhouse. So this is going to be chiseled out, off. All right, the same tool I'll be using is the air hammer. This one I'm not concerned or worried about, because there shouldn't be too much flexing here when I remove this, due to the fact that she's still welded at the original spot. But since this one wasn't welded at all, if you watch the beginning of this video, you see that she wasn't welded at all. And I need to have that welded and everything. And when I finish installing the new inner outer wheelhouse, then I will play with that measurement. And guys, there you go. I used also the air hammer, like I said, and I basically had to go through this lip on this side, a little bit inside the car, out, following this over here, following down here. Now this is another brace that 68 fiber have, and I also believe 67. All right, it got a little torn up, but I will fix it. I'll make a clean piece of sheet metal there, and she should be good to go, because I need something solid to weld to. All right, but look at this. This is really bad. All right, I mean, they never put this back together, and of course she rotted up herself right out. So the next repair will be making a patch panel on this lip right here, and also welding this closed. All right, I did measure from here to here on this side and the driver's side, and everything matches. So what I just need to do is take the cutoff wheel, make this cut here, so they can be nice and flush together, and butt weld it. and also make this flange right here and fix this brace right there. And also I need to fabricate this brace because they cut it off the car. All right, and there's one more brace missing from here, which is a long brace that goes down. And once I'm finished making all those repairs on that rusty metal, you see that some of it got hacked away, some of it just rotted away, then I could clean all this, put a rust converter, okay? I will paint it black, and then I could start working on fitting the quarter skin that I have over there. So little by little, we'll be getting there. And check this out. This bracket here is not even connected to the car. They never welded it back to the car. I will be. So just hang on tight. Let me get some sheet metal and start tracing this out. All right, now, so I cut with the cutoff wheel straight down. This metal was overlapping a little bit, so I cut it straight down. And now when I weld this going down, she is going to have a butt weld, which it means these two panels will line up. One won't be over the other. That's why the other one is called overlap weld. No, I don't want to overlap no metal. Okay, I want to have the metal flush, so when I weld it, she'll be flush. All right, she'll be flush right here. And this is just pitted right here, but this metal is actually really strong. All right, and it will still take welding. It will take a weld. So where she's rotted, and over here also I decided that she's not soft, I hit it with a screwdriver. That's how I test the metal, and I showed you guys before, or pick. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut from here to the whole thing here, basically from here. Take this off, make my panel. She has a curve, of course. All right, this is a wheelhouse, and then I will weld the piece in, and then I will start welding this straight down, and this should be nice and strong. And then I will put on the wheelhouse that I have over there, the inner and outer, and I will just place it to see how everything fits so far. All right, guys, so I'm here working on my panel. This is a simple cardboard, okay? And what I do is I put it on the car. All right. I will clamp it. Make sure she's nice and flush to the edge. Okay. All right. And remember that this is not butt weld yet. So just hold one with one finger, this one with this one over here, and just trace. Okay. This is a simple, very simple patch to do. I did not need to cut everything going outwards, because like I told you, she's still solid, and I still could weld here, and she will hold the weld. So I'm stopping right there. I will transfer this template that I did here to my 18 gauge sheet metal. I'll straighten this line a little better. All right, but once you cut that out, you should be fine. All right, and like you can see, should match perfect, but you could have a whole lip to weld the wheel well with. And here we have the template that I took off the car with the cardboard. And what I like to do is I like to put it on my sheet metal. This is 18 gauge. Please, when you are doing any kind of small patch on the car, on your project, and it happens to be a classic car like this, if it's a first gen F body, use 18 gauge. And when you're gonna ask for the 18 gauge, you are going to ask for cold roll steel. Cold roll steel. There's a difference. Alrighty now. And I just take a normal pick. Sometimes they give this away in Harbors Freight, and I like to scribe my metal with it. Okay. I don't know if you guys could pick that up at camera. I think you guys can. That is scribed. And from here, I move to the shears over here that I also picked up at Harbors Freight. I love this tool. It makes cutting sheet metal pretty simple. Not hard at all. All right. There you go. Just setting the camera for you guys will be able to see what I'm talking about. Sorry for the hand on the way there. But those are my shears from Harbors Freight. I haven't had no problems. I used these shears when I did the white 68 Firebird. All right. And let me see. Maybe you guys get a better view here. There you go. All right. I hope I don't get in your way. So right here, you're gonna fit it right by the sharp edge of the shears here. Okay. And you're just gonna go down, following your scribe line. Right, turn it around to get the next cut. And there you go. She's nice and cut. And the only thing you need to do is put it back into shape. You can hammer this down, or you could simply bend it with your hand. Now let's go back to the car. And guys, I am putting the inner and outer wheelhouse together. So you can buy this together as one, but I bought this two separate pieces, which this is the inner and this is the outer wheelhouse, because this part, the outer, came with the car, so I only needed to get the inner on both sides. Now the inner wheelhouse overlaps the inner by the inside, so the outer overlaps the inner by the inside of the wheelhouse. Also on this side, so that's the rear of the car and this is the front of the car. So this is the way it's supposed to look, okay? And I basically put it on the garage floor And I took this pry bar here that I have, stuck it in the holes, and as you guys can see, I got everything to line up nice. So now I'm going to use the self tappers just to hold it in place, because I need to get my measurements first before anything gets welded to the car. I might just hold everything with the self tappers until I get the floor in the car and make sure everything is spot on. Well guys, here you go. So I finished welding the inner quarter where they did that really nasty overlap weld to the panel from another convertible. They attached it to this car when it was in an accident, like I said in the beginning of the video. Back in the day, I fixed that. That was a disgusting. I did not like that repair at all. So I wanted to fix it, and I did. And I installed the inner and outer wheelhouse. For now, everything is just mocked up. Nothing is welded at all. I always stick to a game plan that works, and everything that I always do is I just repeat, okay? If I have a better idea later on and it worked for me, I will switch up the game. But as of now, I'm taking the same approach like I always have taken. So I will not weld anything until I have this side also as far as this side, okay? And then I will start to screw everything down with the self tappers. I will bring the floor in, also measure the floor height, see that everything is matching up to the inner wheelhouse and everything. Then when that passes my test, I will remove it and finish welding out everything. Once I finish welding these inner and outer wheelhouse and I tack weld the quarter panel, I will move into putting the floor back in, fitting the floor, measurements also, it's just repeat, and then weld everything in. And I will do the inner tail panel, the outer tail panel, and like I said, nothing gets welded in until you have everything measured and everything is fitting correctly. Because it's better to mess around with the self tappers and the only thing you have to do is back them out and move it than having to cut your welds, grind down your welds. You're just creating more work. So it's a game plan that, believe me, is the madness that have helped me being successful in restoring these cars. So here you go. Here is the outer quarter and the inner quarter. So far so good. I am loving it. Everything is falling into place. And check this out, because it's so strong now with the inner and outer wheelhouse presented, all right, that this over here is actually on the same level. So it went up, which your measurements will move from time to time, but as long as everything works. And check that out. I will have to fix the door gap, which I still have room in the front to move it back some. But once I finish welding everything together, plus this door, I really did not fix it, you know, like gapped it perfectly. I just put it for mock-up. But look at the body line. It's not going to fight me at all. Like I said, I would just have to move the door this way, and this should close up a little more. All right, but I'm really happy how everything is turning out. I also have the trunk drop off. That's the old one. I also have the trunk drop off here. Check how everything is just falling into place. Look at that. It's so tight into the outer wheelhouse, and that's what gets welded together, these two pieces. And my trunk drop off, I took it out my barn outside where I keep some of my parts, and so far everything looks like it's gonna fit right on the money. All right, I know that's just I'm just putting that to show you guys, but everything is really lining up nice and I love it. All that is looking good. Oh, that's the repair that I did previous. Like I said in the beginning of the video, I still have to finish it. Now I'm going to show you guys how lucky, how blessed I am that Jonathan left that convertible for me. I still have this repair to do, and also this brace was torn apart. Okay, the one that goes here that actually hides this little cutout and gives it more strength, it was all torn up from the previous job that somebody did to this car. I have the quarters right there from the 69 convertible. I cut them out just yesterday, and I'm going to transfer those braces that are in mint. I'm going to transfer it over here. Now check out my repair. I mean, I love how this came out. Okay, 10 times better than that lap weld that they have, and everything is smooth. It's a butt weld I did here. I mean, I just love it. I also built up my welds here. All right, and like I said, nothing is even screwed from the outside of the inner wheelhouse, and I have a pretty tight fit already. And this look like it's falling into place where it belongs. Okay, knock this out, use my self tappers and plug her in. And like I said, I won't plug in nothing to the end. And now check this out. Fantastic. So this has a little indent. This outer wheelhouse has an indent going in for the inner rocker to fit. And look at that. Check that out. She fits right in there. So far so good. Check out the drop off. All right. Well, for self tapper, she will get nice and tight there, and I could also plug weld her there. So I'm really happy how everything is fitting. Now I will remove the quarter panel, and you guys could see how it looks in there. Let me put you on the tripod. Sorry for having my fingers in the videos, but I'm not an expert camera guy. I'm just a firebird guy. So check this out. Here you have the quarter panel. My cut was up here, and I looked at this arrowhead that I measured here, your marker lights. All right, I actually stuck a measuring tape, and I hit the original inner quarter panel that was original, that they did the lap weld, and it measured straight on. Perfect. Now I just have this held by a vice grip because of my measurements. Take that off. Let me lay that to the side. Okay, and that, boys and girls, is a repair that anybody should be proud of right there. Look at how she is looking. Unbelievable. With a little hard work. All right, and measuring 2, 3, 4, 5 times to get you. Okay, there you go. All right, I did not paint this and did not seal it up because I still need to do those braces that I need to take out from the 69 convertible that Jonathan left here. And this is what I'm talking about. All right, so I gotta cut the stuff that I need off of here if I could weld it onto the bird over here, the 68 bird. And surprisingly, these convertible top brackets are not reproduced. So this is gonna go to L&L Pontiac parts shelf over there outside in the barn. I have parts all over these cars, all over the house, in my barn outside, in the attic, in the garage, all over the place. I mean, they just all over the place because I save it for a rainy day. I'm planning to use the original floor bracing that came off this convertible because she looks nasty right now, but believe me, she is nice and solid. I have to do a little hammer and dolly and just fix the edges, which is going to get welded to the inner rocker. So she's going to go back in the car. And here it goes, guys. Look at how nice that came out. here are your alignment holes here and one down there. All right, which I will show you guys as I go on. And I just use a threaded bolt. All right, moved her in a little bit. She's held in it. And here, this gap that you see I could only get about that much of my finger in was the original gap, which you see this side is still original. And look what I'm talking about. I could just get my finger in, so I wanted to keep everything stock. All right, and what I did was I measured everything out from this lip going down the outer wheelhouse to where you're going to be welding in here, this flange that goes over, which I repaired over here. All right, this is the section I did all the welding, and over here is where I had to cut it with a cutoff wheel and weld. But I did my measurements because I wanted it to fall right back where she came from, the original one. Well guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. The next time around I will have this all welded, okay, and I will have that side done also, for we could fit the quarter panels and see how far I could get to, because I'm this close for installing the complete floor here that's missing on the 68 Lovebird. Remember, like I always say, keep your hands dirty and you'll keep your project moving forward. Bye bye now.